Look at this.
Life forms.
Several hundred humanoids in that direction.
Scans are confirming what we're seeing.
Lamar, are you reading a structure of any kind?
Just plant life.
Episode 3 is a bit of a departure for us. It almost borders on fantasy. I think Ed wants to go down to Naran-1 because it's a mystery, and he loves a mystery.
People on the crew thought they landed on one planet, ended up in all these different places, and it was really interesting reading that script because I just kept turning the pages going, wait, we're where now?
I think there's something big brewing out here.
Things are shifting. Nothing's what it seems. It's like a funhouse mirror that was evolving very quickly in some kind of alternate time state.
Please take your seats. We'll be landing soon.
What the hell is going on here?
It was actually exciting and different for us because we got to do some environments that we've never done before, and same for the cast. It was a nice mystery through the whole episode.
And what we discover puts us through this series of events that intentionally invoke specific fears that our characters have about something that might someday kill them. We knew going into it, an extraordinarily advanced alien species was responsible for everything that was happening.
Where we think these wild hallucinations we're trapped in are being caused by the Kalon turns out not to be the case.
I was outside my own body.
Borders having to deal with mortality in the Mocklin morgue. It's creepy. I don't know, last time you've been in a morgue. How you felt? It's relatable.
And it becomes this one super intelligent being that transcends time and space who wants to know what mortality is.
Who are you?
I'm not gonna hurt anyone. My name is Denal.
And she's investigating human attributes. In this case, what is the fear of death?
You're immortal.
Gold Star, Captain.
But the ultimate explanation on a scientific level is that it was an extremely advanced technology that we can only barely grasp.
Our mortality is what defines us. The world is an interesting place. Kind of sucks that you only get to see a little tiny piece of it. It's an unfolding story that you want to see where it goes. I want to see what happens.
Open up the lens a little bit. Don't put your head back as far. Scotty. Do more of your face. There you go. Exactly. Get the boom mic a little. Kick below your knees a little bit.
Take a look at the boom mic, Scotty.
Great.
This is a good day.
It is a good day.
Guys, I told myself not to do that. I told myself not to do that. To remember to press the button so that you guys can hear me. But what happened? A bunch of BS, and I was so taken aback by that gently falling rain preview that I forgot to press the correct button, you guys. What is going on? Welcome to Talkin' the Orville. I'm JP. Your lovely little cutesy host here in the 25th century. What's going on, everybody? We have a lot to talk about. Mortality paradox. Mortality paradox. Not being able to conceive your own death. You just can't do it. You think you might be able to think about your own death, but you really can't, because even then you are thinking about it. It just doesn't work, does it? And even those godlike multiphasic characters well, just one character really that we were introduced to, that we were caught up with from season 1 episode Mad Idolatry. They can't conceive it either. They're so advanced, but they're like us in that way. So maybe they're not so advanced. They got some toys and some pew-pews, and they can do some really cool pocket universes. Big whoop. In some ways, they're just like us. How's it going, you guys? Were you excited about Mortality Paradox? It is one of those types of things, those science fiction stories that I love the most because it makes me think. All 3 episodes so far of the Orville have been very layered. Not everyone's able to peel back and see all the layers, but some of you are, and it's always wonderful to talk to anybody about the Orville. Mark Lawrence, re-upped member for 10 months, and an official channel member here on Talking the Orville. Part of the Gelogia squad. JP Shepard of the Bright and Hopeful 25th Century. Bright and hopeful is how I choose to play it, you guys. Naturally, as a human, I'm not hopeful. I'm not a positive person. I'm a person, and most people are negative. Deep down, we're negative. Being the choice I made to be positive a few years ago, when I made that choice, was a choice. Anytime you see me being positive, it's because I'm working at it. I'm doing the work, and you guys are helping me do that work. I also want to thank, let me scroll back here. I saw some stuff going on before I started going. Mark Lawrence also dropped a super chat. I'd have loved to be an extra at that school scene. Loved that episode. And Dan Crane with a $10 super chat and a fun little super sticker there attached to it. Brian Dawkins, Archmage Frey, Curtis Tate, Crochet Kitty, Kylie Pratt, and of course Mark Lawrence and Dan Crane, all official channel members here. Let me see if I see any other green highlighted names. Don't miss anything, JP, you SOB. No, I think I got everybody. I'm so glad to be here. I was so excited for you guys to see this episode, to see what people thought of this episode. So many things are going on. I've seen this episode, Mortality Paradox, probably about 9 or 10 times. And every single time, there's just so much going on and so much to think about that I just didn't want it to end. Gelogia Vendetta Wild. JP, keep doing the work. Thank you so much today. Hey, Martin Horowitz. I always support JP because he is so positive. And that's why I work at it every single day. Try to be positive. And I just try to assume other people are positive, though we know not everybody is. We all have our moments, don't we? With this episode, it proved the Kalon didn't get to that planet. No, I don't think anybody could get to that planet, no matter how hard they tried. They are so efficiently evolved now. 50,000 years of progress amongst that race, where they've become immortal gods. They can make universes with the blink of an eye, the snap of 2 fingers. That was a big surprise when I first saw this episode. I was like, oh my god, it's an update. It's an update to the multiphasic people from season 1. I know over the years people have always wondered about that race of people. It's like, well, if they're going 700 years in forward in their timeline, every 11 days in our timeline, they must be incredibly, they must have progressed incredibly at this point. And now we find out that they did, and they have been watching us for a long time. And they can obviously travel between universes besides just create universes. I know some people are like, well, why didn't they just ask the multiphasic people to help us with the Kalon? I rewatched the episode many times. They didn't really have a chance to ask too many questions after after what was going on in that episode. She kind of just poofed away before they had a chance to talk about anything else. But also, any intelligent person like Captain Mercer or anybody in the Union would realize, oh, if they've been watching us for a while, if they have all these powers, they know what we're going through with the Kalon, and they wouldn't help us, because they already would have if they wanted to. I don't think they would probably want to. They might. Well, they probably do know the outcome of the Kalon Union War, or they probably know how it works out. They probably don't care either way. Think about who they are. Why would they care about two puny races going at it? I mean, two factions. It's well below their place in the universe. So much to talk about. Let's just talk about dying. We can do that. Archmage Frey. First thought was it was a Caliban experience planet or experience planet until we saw a Moclan experience. Then I knew shenanigans were afoot. I knew shenanigans were afoot, like officially, when it first came to my mind when watching the episode when Bortus and Tala went into that classroom, that history class or whatever it was, and nobody in the class, the teacher, nobody, treated them like they were aliens. That didn't make sense. I'm like, oh, the teacher thinks they're young students, but they're obviously not young students. They're obviously not even human. But really, then I rewatched. I'm like, oh, I knew shenanigans were afoot when all the kids came out of the class and people were talking to, that girl was talking to Bortus like he was just another kid or another person. Not that he was this crazy looking alien. So I'm like, okay, that means something is afoot. Ooh, a game is the foot. I have learned. Kevin Scott, what's going on, official channel member? Hey, JP, just got on. You're doing awesome being the Orville Evangelist. Thank you so much, Kevin. This season, I'm like, the Orville is going all out. They had a hard time getting the show out exactly when they wanted to because of the pandemic, but also because the season is just absolutely huge as far as work to be done to have gotten it done. In fact, they're still working on getting all the bells and whistles on some of the last couple episodes. Not all the episodes are ready. Most of them are ready, but they're still working on a couple of the last ones as far as editing, effects, all that stuff. They're getting it all wrapped up. Nobody is a 5-head here. Oh, I'm probably a 7-head. Archmage Frey and the students were unable to say what year it was. I dug that too. Yeah, I mean, that guy, that kid that he was talking to probably could have given him the year, but think about it. It's a very strange question, right? For someone to ask you. And you're like, yeah, you're just joking. Yes, Gordon really got the SH star sign T kicked out of him, and he never drew his weapon. Yeah, Gordon is always the punching bag in every season. If an alien is mad or somebody's mad, they're going to beat up Gordon. It happens every single time. I'm actually just got scheduled today to talk to Scott Grimes on Wednesday, which is my birthday. My birthday's coming up this Wednesday. The same day that I'll be watching the new episode of The Orville, Gently Falling Rain, and starting to get things prepared. But I really can't even think about that right now because I'm still working on Mortality Paradox. Yeah, Gordon got a face full of doo-doo water. I'm going to ask Scott about that. Boy, this chat is moving along. I'm trying to keep track. Yeah, I'm going to ask Scott about getting beat up by the bullies. If he has anything to say to bullies out there, we'll have some fun. I'm supposed to talk to Jessica Zor this Monday, but I haven't gotten an official schedule lockdown sent to me, like a lockdown schedule sent to me. So hopefully that still works out. But if not, I have an exact time and day set for Scott. Very excited to talk to him again. The Brown Guy dropping a super chat. Jaloja, in my opinion, I thought this last episode was probably the weakest. Still more fun and enjoyable than New Trek. For me, and this is my opinion, different strokes for different folks, as I told somebody earlier today, it's one of their best episodes. It's the most science fiction-y thing to me. But, you know, it all depends on our mood. It depends on if the story appeals to us. For me, this is my favorite type of sci-fi story. This one, because it's like a Twilight Zone, right? There's a mystery the whole time, and it didn't make sense. How could this stuff be happening? How can they be going to all these different places? But yeah, I definitely respect your opinion on it, the Brown Guy. Hey, thanks, Joy Don. Joy Don says, happy birthday. Woohoo! Yeah, it was a romp of an episode. Very Twilight Zone. Okay, when I first watched it, one thing that I thought of was that episode of the Twilight Zone I think it's called 5 Characters in Search of an Exit. I think that's what it's called, where it's like this clown, a military guy, a ballerina. They're all stuck in this room. They don't know their past. They don't know why. They don't know how to get out. It made me think of that, as we had 5 characters in search of an exit in this episode as well. It also made me think of that episode of TNG. Christina, thank you very much. Christina dropped a super chat. Happy birthday. Enjoy. Loving this season. Me too. And I hear Gently Falling Rain is a big one. A big episode next week. Their first big episode, according to them, is next week. So it made me think of the TNG episode. You remember the one where Riker is going through that fake scenario that we thought was a holographic thing, but it also by the Romulans, but it turned out to be a little kid who wanted a daddy, something like that. I can't remember exactly. So it reminded me of that episode. There's another episode it reminded me of. I'm forgetting it, but that's one of the TNG episodes that it reminds me of. Yeah, it was an enjoyable mystery type episode, Lone Puppy. Yeah, especially when we thought that it was over, that they discovered the holographic generator, which turned out to be totally not true, even though it kind of was true in what I like to call a multiphasic universe. I'm going to be using the word multiphasic in my upcoming companion episode. For the companion episode, I'll be having a lot of the footage that I just showed you laced throughout there, but also I'm going to be doing a Follow That Shuttle segment, as well as an interview with Adrian Palicki segment, as well as talking about the episode segment. You know how I do. And a trivia segment. The trivia for this episode, and I've already talked to him about it to make sure it doesn't mess up his contest that he's doing. Tom Constantino, the editor and one of the producers of the Orville, I'm going to be having the trivia is going to be, are you guys able to, or were any of you guys able to figure out where he is in the episode? He has a cameo in the episode somewhere, and he's trying to get people to find it. And I know where he's at in the episode, but I'll never tell, at least not until the new episode's coming out. I still got a bunch of stuff to work on to get that episode all done for the companion series. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to be putting out tons of Orville stuff. I just put out an Talking the Orville video right when I went live. There's a new video up. But you guys were here, wasting your time with me when you could be on the dead YouTubes watching videos. I just put one up. But you guys just saw it. Is that intro video that I did with the inside mortality paradox and some behind the scenes and a sneak peek of next week. I figured might as well get that out as soon as possible because I want people to get excited for next week's episode, Gently Falling Rain, which is all about the krill. What's the rain? What's the rain that they're talking about in the title of this? Is it song related? Is there actually going to be some sort of rain, or is it more of a metaphor to I don't know, resemble something that's going on? Are the krill going to be asking for our help with something? Maybe there is some sort of actual rain that they can't get wet because, I don't know, it has UV rays in it or something, and it burns them like acid, but it's fine for us. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and find out. I have my whole theory. The name Gently Falling Rain reminds me of a Happy Refrain because of singing in the rain. So I was thinking, oh, maybe it's an Isaac and Claire episode, which would be nice, but I don't know. It's going to be very krill heavy. I don't know if there's going to be enough time, even though we got all the time in the world with these new episodes this season. I don't know if we're going to have enough time to fit in a big story like that with a big old krill story. I don't know. Brian Dawkins, member for 30 months to this channel, part of the Geologia Squad. Can you get a charter from Seth MacFarlane so we can have the first Orville clubhouse? That'd be awesome. ORVILLE. I don't know. I'm gonna try to get him on the horn. I'm gonna contact his publicist and see if I can get him. He said he'll be back on the show, and I'm sure he totally would as long as he has time. And I'm sure he'd be able to find the time. Just need a few minutes with you, Seth. I think he'd probably come on. Well, I'm sure he'd come on. I just got to get it arranged. I can't just like contact him, and have him actually see it, because I'm sure he's bombarded all the time with people trying to contact him. But I'll contact his publicist or one of his assistants. I got all their information. Yeah, Victor Martinez, official channel member. I agree that Denali, I think is her name, is like the Q. I'll have to go watch it with subtitles. I haven't done that. I usually watch. I remember season 2, I'd watch every episode regular, and then I'd eventually watch it with subtitles just so I could get all the little pieces of correct information. So I'll have to go do that. I don't know exactly how to say her name or spell her name. But the multiphasic girl was played by Elizabeth Gillies, who's a great actress. I think she's one of the stars of the newer Dynasty. You know how they did a remake of Dynasty a few years ago? She said season 4 just came up on Netflix now. She's the star. Maybe I'll try to contact her as well. But, you know, it's hard to get hold of these people on social media because they all have people. You have to find out who their people are, and then you contact them, and then they contact the person, and then you set up a thing. I was trying to also get a something scheduled with Cherry. I can't pronounce her last name. I don't have it in front of me. Chevra. She's one of the writers for the show. She also writes for Family Guy and the other Seth MacFarlane animated series. She wrote this episode. I really want to talk to her about what was going on in her mind when she was writing this episode, and see what she was thinking about going to the high school and the football field, Randall Monster, the airplane. The airplane definitely, I'm sure, reminded all of us of Twilight Zone for the original 20,000 feet of terror or whatever. Terror at 20,000 feet, and then the new one that came out, which was Terror at 30,000 feet with Adam Scott. Kylie Pratt, $10 super chat. Happy birthday to you for this upcoming week. Thank you very much. Sending my love from Australia to you on your special day. Hope Avis brings you plenty of great presents. Well, as long as I have my family here, I don't want anything else. That's what makes me the happiest. Now, Australia. Now, well, you already know this, Kylie. I think you were the one that shared the information. In week 1, in the first episode, Electric Sheep, the Orville was the #1 TV show in Australia out of everything. Stranger Things 4, Obi-Wan, The Boys, all that stuff. Orville's #1. This week, which was Shadow Realms, the Orville's #2. And of course, that information throughout the weeks will be coming out. It's great that the Orville is at the tippity top in some of these countries, which means it's doing well worldwide. Just waiting for the numbers. And you know what the numbers mean. You get enough numbers, which I'm sure we will, then we'll get some renewals. And earlier today, it just hit me that the Orville New Horizons, besides giving it the subtitle New Horizons, which was a suggestion from the studio to Seth MacFarlane that he pondered over and said, okay, let's do it. New Horizons, of course, talks about the new missions, the new season, the new home on streaming, but also it gives the Orville opportunity, in my opinion, to have decades of spin-offs. You can have, what did I write today? Deep Space Gordon, New Horizons. The Redenbacher, New Horizons. The Wilbur, New Horizons. New Horizons, to me, I feel will be the name of this series as time goes on and on and on and on and on with more content like from this series, which is what we all want. Kevin Scott, $4.99 or $5 super chat. Hey JP, save this for when you're sitting next to Seth MacFarlane watching next season's premiere in LA and want to buy yourself a Coke. Thank you very much. Now, if I'm at the premiere next season as well, I don't need to buy a Coke because everything's free because the Orville puts out a spread. When I was at the premiere of New Horizons with the cast and crew and their invited guests and all that, man, they put it on. The best little hors d'oeuvres all over the place. The free drinks, open bar, you have whatever you want all night long, nonstop, one after the other. Live music, they had the whole to do. It was great. And yes, but I will save it and I'll buy a Coke. And they'll say, no, it's free. I said, no, you don't understand. I have to buy this Coke. I made a promise, and I'm not going to let you down, Kevin Scott. Kylie Pratt says that's correct. I was the one who shared it to you. I'll keep you updated each week as it comes out, which I very much appreciate. I know a website where I can get the info from. Nice. And I know it was #1 in Canada as well. I haven't really looked up yet because I've been just doing my best just to mine all the behind the scenes videos and pictures that I can possibly get. I got a ton so far, but there's way more coming, and we're going to be getting some airplane stuff I know is coming out. The Orville, after every episode, they just start dumping all kinds of behind the scenes stuff. I get it. I start figuring out how to organize it, how to share it with you guys all in one place. And that's what I'm doing again right now this week. Jaloyager. I'm sad in so soon, praying for season 4. Better pray hard to Avis, or at least our Lord and Savior Kelly, because yes, we do need a season 4. So bad, Jane. I very much agree with that. Please, let's get a season 4. Striotic for All Mankind season 3 is also going very well so far. Between it and Strange New Worlds and Orville, it's a great time for sci-fi fans. There is some really good sci-fi out right now. I hear very good things about For All Mankind. I see lots of people sharing, hey, season 3, watch season 3, this and that. Even Kit Stolen, when I met him a few weeks ago at the premiere, he was saying, I gotta watch. Kit Stolen is a concept artist for the Orville. He was saying, I gotta watch For All Mankind. I don't know if it's been out yet, but I know that season 3 of Picard is as far as filming goes, is pretty much done, if not already done. And I think he might work For All Mankind. I'll have to ask him and see. Martin says Yuri's Night LA next year, April 8th at the California Science Center. That's the best place to hold it. And that's where the premiere of the Orville was. I watched it on IMAX. It was at the California Science Center. Not really inside. It was all done. The party part was outside. And of course, the IMAX part was in the IMAX theater. We only went into the Science Center to leave out the back exit to go to walk a little ways, very little ways, to the outdoor reception, the party that they had afterwards. It was a good time. Jane Averill, right now I'm between Star Trek Strange New Worlds and Orville. I'm really liking Strange New Worlds. I started last night to watch the latest episode of Strange New Worlds, but I guess I just wasn't in the mood. After about 5 minutes, I'm like, I'm bored. I'm going to try again another time, which is what I do, because I always want to give something a fair shot. If I realize I'm not in the mood, I don't watch, because I'm like, I'll wait until I'm in a good mood, and then I'll watch whatever the thing is. I know everyone's loving this week's episode. I don't know much about it, but I plan on, when I could just breathe a little bit in a couple days, I'll probably sit down and watch it, because I am a fan of it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it feels. I love all the characters of Strange New Worlds. But it does, to me, look like really high-quality studio science fiction, whereas the Orville looks like really high-quality, handcrafted artisan science fiction. Just something to my eye that I notice. But yeah, I'm loving that show as well. Xanady Zuzu, official channel member. What's going on? Oh wait, the Brown guy, super chat from the Brown guy. I'm sorry, I'll come back to you, Xanady Zuzu. The Brown guy says, yeah, so we have the Q introduced last night. I agree, they're kind of Q-like. Godlike, I guess, would be the best way to put them, except for not very mischievous. Last week, the organic spider people Borg was introduced last week. I'm loving it. Keep watching, everyone. Yeah, what did we call those spiders? Well, the show calls them arachnids. That's what they're referred to, but I was calling them Borganics. Organic Borg. Organics. And then, yeah, there's kind of the multiphasic people have evolved to the point of being gods, which is a very classic ideology that people have been throwing around for a very long time now. But what's cool is we got to see their start. We actually got to see the beginning. We got to see their ancient ancestors become whatever they ended up becoming. Glow-in-the-dark people, Tron people. Let me get the Zanny Zub, but also let me go CBiz210. JP, you have a, I'm sure it's supposed to say 5 head. It says Foov head. I got a 7 head. I'll tell you that. Zanity Zoo, that's so awesome. Thank you for sifting through all of that. I love the set in the second episode with the colored lattice type stuff. Would be cool to see behind the scenes in creating the sets. Ooh, I didn't put it in the episode, but I do have a behind the scenes, a time lapse of them. No, not even a time lapse. I think it's just multiple stages of them building that cave where they put up a bunch of wooden weird shapes and then they covered it with all kinds of weird stuff to make it look like rocks. And I'll put those out on the community page. It's in picture form. I have them in a file here, so I'll put them up on the page, because we're gonna have a lot of Orville to talk about for a long time. Because I'm already coming up with all these ideas that have nothing to do with reviews, just Orville stuff. Finding special little things that happen in episodes, maybe comparing things from different seasons. Even though I'll probably still lighten up on the Orville stuff after the season is over, but I'm still gonna have a lot of Orville stuff to do. I'm beginning to find out. So hopefully it doesn't take a million years to get a fourth season, even after it's been announced that it's been renewed, which I really have a good feeling about. Hopefully within the middle of the season here. So hopefully in just next month at some point they'll announce a renewal. But I bet you it'll probably still be a long wait. So I'm going to have to not only do Orville stuff, because I'm never going to run out of Orville stuff to talk about. I'm going to have to incorporate some other Orville adjacent properties into the types of videos that I make and the types of stuff that I do. You guys know I like to do variety in the format of Orville stuff, but live shows, behind the scenes, me just talking to the camera, some scripted stuff, some highly curated stuff. I like to do it all. So if we just do the same type of video every single video, that gets boring not only to you guys, but it'd be boring to me as well. We got a May the Force be with you. We will get a Star Wars crossover, maybe a holodeck episode. Well, we know that Star Wars does exist in the Orville universe. So I don't see why they couldn't do it. Well, property rights would probably be the only way. But Disney owns Star Wars. Disney owns the Orville. We might get some crossovers. I can see it being a possibility. I don't know if the Orville would want to do that, except for maybe in an environmental simulator situation. But that would be a lot of fun, because it exists in the Orville universe as a movie franchise. Now, here's one question. In one episode, Gordon mentions Indiana Jones. Where they mentioned Star Wars. They've mentioned a couple other things, Doctor Who. But I'm guessing that the stuff that they watched is not the same stuff that we watched. That they watched remakes. They probably watched Star Wars Episode 95. They didn't watch the same exact stuff we watched. It's just, creative people just keep making remakes after remakes after remakes. Why would that change in the future at all? With the fact that people, even though people complain, I complain, everybody complains, that's all that we're willing to show up to a movie theater for. I'm guessing that would be the same in the future as well. Mark Lawrence, another super chat. It's also fun to keep up with the side projects that the cast are up to. Maybe a Jay Lee tour. Oh yeah, I would love. I know Jay Lee's going to be working on something soon that I think he created, just like he did that movie a couple years ago, Atypical Wednesday, which is a really good movie. If you guys haven't seen it, he wrote, directed, starred in. It's really good. So I hope he does more stuff, because he's got some funny ideas. We know that Seth is going to be briefly working for a few months on the new Ted series. That won't take very long though. He's also got the new The End Is Nigh, a new Bill Nye Cosmos type series that's premiering in August. But that's just the same as that's just a side project. Just like when the Orville was on, Cosmos was on as well, and that's a Seth MacFarlane joint. Seth MacFarlane worked on that as well, and it was coming out at the same time as the Orville. When you're as big in the business as Seth MacFarlane, and you got people under you and teams, multiple teams going to do stuff, you can do a lot of projects. Thank goodness. Me, I can only do talking the Orville, and barely that, because I'm just one guy. Jane Everett, JP, you give us. All us big-time fans, a fabulous place to come together and relish in our love of the Orville. Thank you, Jane. That is the plan. because I am one of those fans. I need a place to come and relish in the love of the Orville. Sometimes I'll even mustard in the Orville, but right now I'm going to relish in the Orville with you guys, because I am one of you guys. I just have a computer and some editing software. That's the main difference. Striatic, I could also see one of these metaphasic aliens wanting to actually die. Yeah, I can see that too. Like the episode of Voyager where that Q wanted to die. Yeah, absolutely. I can totally see that. Seth MacFarlane, of course, is a huge, bigger than any of us, huge Star Trek fan, lifelong Star Trek fan. He loves talking Star Trek. He can do it for hours and hours and hours, and like many of us can. And so, you know, you'll get some ideas that kind of, you're like, oh, I kind of remember a little part of a Star Trek episode. And then you go and you research that and you're like, oh, that Star Trek episode borrowed from 5 different science fiction books from back in the day, from Ray Bradbury or whatever. Science fiction's got everything that you've ever seen in science fiction was already written back in the 50s. So yeah, it's just all a big cyclical sci-fi. I can say more, but I'm not. But it's a big sci-fi pool of fun ideas. Mustard is okay. Relish is gross. There was probably a time in my life where I thought that too, but now I love me some relish. I relish, but I love mustard even more. Ooh, mustard and relish. Oh, it's like alternate flavored fancy sauce. Nagilum. Oh, I remember Nagilum. A little space face that killed that one ensign on the bridge. He's like, oh, good old Nagila. I miss the short bus shuttle. The short bus shuttle pod. Ooh, I wonder if they have those in the 25th century. Jane Averill says, I am a Trek fanatic. Treknatic. I was trying to put the words together. I didn't come up with anything catchy. I want to see more action with the new fighter class ship. Oh, I believe it's coming. That fighter class ship, the Pterodon, was created by Brandon Fyatt, who does all the special effects. He was here in the chat last week. He created that. He's very proud of it. He loves that thing. He gave me a little personal tour of it when I was at the premiere, because they had one right there. They had the same one right there to get your hands all over, and I was taking pictures of it. And I didn't even post. I actually put my phone up to the window and took some pictures of the cockpit, which he suggested I do, but I'm like, I already did, like a bunch. And he's like, well, do it again. So I did. So he gave me a little tour of that. He loves that thing. There's going to be some action. We have not had a big episode yet. I know it doesn't feel that way, but we have not had a big episode yet. But we got a bunch coming. I know of at least 3 that are very big episodes. Now I'm talking with the pew-pews and the explosions and the running time and everything. Next week is supposed to be a big one. Nagilum wanted to understand death, so he started killing people on the Enterprise in TNG. Medallion. Besides that, that's a good example. This episode also reminded me of that episode of TNG where that one alien race came aboard to visit, and there was like 3 or 4 of them, and they all had a different emotion they wanted to experience. So one of them, I think, was all sexed up. The other one was all about the food. The other one was about, I don't know, something else. They're about different things, anger. I don't remember, but they were all trying to not steal, but see those experiences through the human's eyes and experience it with them. What's up, Grosner? How you doing? Grosner. Striatic. I don't know what it was, but the high school teacher really made me laugh to the point where my wife looked at me odd. It was humorous. I didn't bust up laughing with it, but it was very humorous. The teacher kept saying, hey, are you supposed to be in this class? He's basically treating them like teachers. The thing that really made me laugh was the 5 head comment from Bortus. That, of course, was funny. And then I have to go through. They've had light humor in between the entire episodes, but they do the heavier stuff in the first 10-15 minutes before the story gets real deep and there's just not enough room. But yeah, there's a lot of light humor in these episodes. I know a lot of people are missing it because I think they're concentrating on the heavier side of the story. But there's stuff all throughout every episode. Even when Bortus was explaining what the Mocklin morgue was, there was humor in there. Gordon was like, "Oh, that's very considerate," but he was being facetious when he said that. Hope there are no short bus references on the show, to be honest. I hope none of that ends up on the show. It is derogatory towards disabilities. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing any of that in the Orville. They haven't really done that before. I don't think they would start doing that now. Jane Avril, yes, LOL, you always know when someone is going to die because a new guy on the bridge that gets a line is usually going to die. You remind me of Lieutenant Payne. Whenever an unfamiliar ensign gets a line, they are probably a goner. That's true. If there's something super dangerous going on and some guy you never saw before says, "Hey, what's going on, kids? Why are you guys so afraid here? All by yourself in the mess hall." "Because there's a monster." "What?" Boom. Splatted right in the face, and now you're a monster. That's how it goes. I am probably late to this, but John Fleck plays a great Krill. So far, all the Krill have been great throughout the entire series, right? And we're going to get a ton more next week. And probably John Fleck, well, I'm sure will be in that too. I mean, he's part of the treaty and all that stuff, right? Zenny Zoo, if you do it right, it should just pop right out. Funniest for me. That's what she said. That's what she said. John Fleck as the Krill from the last episode was great. Instantly recognizable voice and cadence. Yes, I believe he's also in the episode from last season, Blood of Patriots, when they first started doing this whole treaty with the Krill. And it looks like next week's episode, we're going to be given a tour of the Krill planet by the Krill. And it looks like they got like a nice little Vegas thing going on. I mean, the planet is always covered in complete darkness. So, you know, they got everything lit up, nice and shiny, all kinds of colors, neons. I didn't expect that. And I'm sure the crew, when they get there and see Krill for the first time, they're not going to expect all the colors. But as we learned in the very first episode, Old Wounds, the Krill have a more human side to them. When Ed and Kelly were talking to that one Krill trying to distract him and talking about marital problems, he was obviously kind of a real person, not just some, character of some sort of overwhelmingly like religious society and all that stuff. There's like, oh, they're real people with real issues and problems and stuff to overcome within their own families and relationships. Oh, they're real. And this season, definitely next episode, from what I can tell, we're going to be learning a lot about the Krill as people. Now, will we see Talia next week in Gently Falling Rain? Ooh, I'm gonna look it up, or one of you guys could look it up. Does Billy Joel have a song called Gently Falling Rain? I don't know. He's got a lot of songs. Does Billy Joel have a song called Gently Falling Rain? Because if he does, that means Talia's gonna be there, you guys, without a doubt. I'd like to see the Krill react to the Arachnids. Well, the Arachnids are a race that the Krill, at least some point in their history, are afraid of. So it makes sense that would be something that they fear. C-Biz, JP, we should have a watch party. Watch parties are tough when it comes to properties, intellectual properties that aren't on Amazon. But also they're just hard because I just don't have the time. I mean, I'm working all day just scouring the internet and getting stuff from production and editing and creating and writing. Curtis Tay says, I love Tala. I love Tala too. Hopefully I'm still in the works to talk to Jessica this Monday, but I haven't been given a time. Whereas with Scott, I was given a time. They asked for a link, all this stuff. That did not happen with Jessica's people yet. So hopefully that does happen. But yeah, watch party. When things calm down, we'll probably start doing some watch parties. C-Biz. We'll probably have to wait until after the season is done. Because I spend every day of the week. I'll try to take a little time off tomorrow, but the companion series is, I have to have that out by no later than Sunday. I mean, I don't, but personally, I'm like, no later than Sunday. So I'll be working all day on Sunday for sure. And Sunday's Father's Day. And I'm a stepfather now. But I'm like, no, you guys, I'm working. It's probably a line in a Billy Joel song, Gently Falling Rain. Ooh, yeah, it could just be a line. But if there's anything related to Billy Joel in the phrase Gently Falling Rain, guaranteed Talia will be there, you guys. Dax Jacobson, randomly pick 8 of your big spenders and watch with them. I'll let everybody come in. Everybody's welcome. Jane Averill, not finding a Billy Joel song with that title. It might be a lyric. That's our next stop. Ooh, somebody's got to find something. There's even a song that has those 3 words randomly in it. We got them. Yeah, Elizabeth Gillies played Denal. She is one of the main stars of the new Dynasty. Not New Dynasty, but Dynasty, the remake show. I think season 4 just came out on Netflix. No Gently Falling Rain song. Just a gently falling rain song, says Matt Sackett. Yeah, now we search for a line. Ooh, if we find that. Jane says, I miss Alara deeply. Halston Sage, she's doing stuff now. She still puts up a lot of stuff on social media. She is one of the characters in the new game that just came out called The Quarry, which is a, who makes that? I can't remember who makes that. But The Quarry, it's a kind of it's this kind of scary game, but not really, really scary. It's more like a teen horror game. It's meant to be that way, but Halston plays one of the characters, and it's one of those games that has really good motion cap and really good they do really good rendering on all the characters and all that stuff. It looks just like her. I mean, you can tell it's her. She's one of the characters in the game. Ed Figueroa, $10 super chat. What's up, JP? A little late to the party, but here nonetheless. Shout out to all the rest of the Orvillians. Orvillians, shout out to you from Ed Figueroa. Dropping that super chat. Thank you so much, helping to keep the lights on all summer long, Ed. Very much appreciate it, because my whole goal all summer long, Orville every day. And I'm trying to put out at least one video every weekday, if not a couple on the weekends as well. But every weekday, there should be a new episode of Talking the Orville, some way or another, whether it be a live show, a behind the scenes, a review, a first impression, a sneak peek, inside the Orville, all that stuff, all every weekday, all summer long. So that's my thing, and you guys are helping out when you drop the bits like that. So thank you, Ed. My big mouth. I can only find rain sound recordings called Gently Falling Rain. That makes sense. Jane Averill, now I'm getting excited. I waited to see Talia again all these years. I really feel like we're going to get a Talia update. We're getting a Havina update this season. I'm guessing it'll be in the episode A Tale of Two Topas, which is just the episode right after this episode. I feel that's the episode she's in. I don't know for sure. We got a lot more episodes left. We still got 7 more episodes of the Orville. We got Twice in a Lifetime, From Unknown Graves. We've got Domino, Midnight Blue, Future Unknown. Maybe I missed one. And then plus the 2 that are coming up, Gently Falling Rain and A Tale of Two Topas. Very excited to see what's going on with all of that. This story is going to be huge. I know that's episode 4 next week. Gently Falling Rain is huge. I know episode 8 is huge. And I know the finale, episode 10, is huge. And I know we will be getting some updates from the episode that they had to drop this season that they weren't able to do because of restrictions were just too high. They couldn't get done what they wanted to get done on it because they had some big numbers in certain scenes and they were going to film it abroad somewhere, which is no longer available to shoot at. But we will be getting something from that after the season is over, from what I hear. Brian Dawkins, The Quarry is The Office, both Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble. Hey there, Bon. Hey, Fred. I loved me some Flintstones back in the day, you guys. Xanadu Zoo, I would miss the Claire character the most, if not renewed. Yeah, I love Claire. I do plan on talking to Penny again at some point. Every week I get asked who I'd like to... After every episode, I've been getting emails saying, hey, who would you like to talk to? And then I tell them, and then they see if they can work it out. So one of these points, I'm going to see if I can get a hold of Penny. Penny called me out at the premiere. I was walking by. She was talking with her people. And she says, hey, I remember you. And so we chatted a little bit. But I want to talk to her on camera here. But I really want to get Mark Jackson at some point. I don't know if he's available because I think he might be back in the UK doing stuff. I don't know. Archmage Frey, Gently Falling Rain is the first lyric of the Monkey song, The Crippled Lion. Here we come, very far away. That's interesting. Maybe we're switching to the Monkees. I can see Seth MacFarlane being a fan of the Monkees. That would be pretty awesome. I'll have to look into that. Gently Falling Rain. I'll have to find every song that has Gently Falling Rain. Especially if it's anything classic. If it's classic like that, like Billy Joel or the Monkees, there's more of a likelihood. Or if there's some standards that have that phrase. It's a very specific phrase, isn't it? It doesn't seem like something they just came up with. It seems like something they were inspired by. Billy Joel has a song called Falling Off the Rain. All right, Matt Frank, I'm going to start with that one when I start doing my research because I go through every line. Oh, crippled lion, with a question mark. Poor little lion had a thorn in his paw. Mark Lawrence, Gently Falling Rain, maybe an asteroid colliding with a planet, but it gets diverted and just skims the atmosphere and leaves a gently falling rain of harmless debris. Yeah, and that's a thing right there. Is the gently falling rain a literal thing? Or is it a metaphoric thing? Because it can go either way with this show. Very good. Mr. Londell, check out Shakespeare as well. Seth is tricky. That's true. Even in Electric Sheep, which of course the phrase electric sheep comes from Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which eventually which was a novel by Philip K. Dick that eventually became Blade Runner, but it was originally called Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. But also they use the phrase perchance to dream, which kind of talks about dying or suicide, which goes back to Shakespeare. And it's kind of a euphemism for suicide, which of course in that episode there was suicide being talked about, android suicide. So it kind of all matches. You got to go back to Shakespeare as well. You are right. What do you hear? Nothing but the rain. And like Tina says, I can't stand the rain. Or is Gently Falling Blue Looking Rain, which is a proto-molecule, and we're getting an Expanse crossover. No, anything that looks like blue rain has to do with Derulio. We all know this. Derulio's going to be in that episode. How do you wash blue out of white krill skin? My Big Mouth. Or is Gently Falling... Oh, no, I just read that. My Big Mouth. I wanted to read it twice. It was so nice. Archmage Frey. Oh, I could see it being a ship fought valiantly to save a planet without their knowledge, and they are destroyed at the end, and the planet only sees their debris entering the atmosphere. Ooh, that's beautiful. It's their debris, but they don't realize what it is. They don't realize what the story behind that debris that's falling. Ooh, blame it on the rain. Absolutely, Medallion. What's up, Roadrunner? How you doing? Matt Sackett, rain falling from the skies. Frank Sinatra is the only thing I can find that is a love-like song, and we all know Seth MacFarlane loves him some Frank Sinatra. When I was at the premiere of Electric Sheep at the California Science Center, Seth went up on stage and did a couple songs with the band, and one of those songs was what's the actual title? South of the Border? That Frank Sinatra song, South of the Border, down Mexico way. I can't remember the name of that song. Xanadu Zoo. I think gently falling rain is metaphorical about all the suffering around us that we tune out most of the time. Oh, very good. That's very interesting. We're elevating the conversation, which I love. You guys know that. Yeah, what could it be about? We're going to the planet Krill. First of all, why would the Krill even invite us to Krill? What's going on? What do they need from us? Or are they trying to well, they don't want their people to see us as humans, or as not humans, but as people valuable enough to be considered people, because before they didn't even consider us people, they considered us animals. Why would they want to show us getting along with Krill in front of their people? Interesting. Are they respecting us some way, somehow? Did they change their minds about us? Because as we know from, oh gosh, what episode was that? It was, Shadow Realms last week. That the one Krill guy, he says to the other Krill guy, once the Kalon are taken care of, they're going to be ending their treaty with us. So what has changed? Or has anything changed? Yeah, what's the name of the Krill planet? Avisia? Maybe it's Planet Avis. Maybe it's just Krill Prime. It's probably Krill Prime. Or what if they just call their planet Gary? Like, welcome to Planet Gary. It's where the Krill are from. Or Planet Dave. My Big Mouth, perhaps it doesn't rain on the Krill homeworld, and it ties in with the trailer about, Ozymandias and the desert, and the crew maybe cause it to rain. A desert. Very good connection. What do people that live in the desert want? They want rain. So gently falling rain. Very good connection. I'm thinking that line from the season 3 trailer will be said in this episode. Krill nose. I doubt they call it krill nose. That'd be a little too on the nose. Krill nose. Speaking of that, it's so everyone's been posting this AI art. So I went to the website that does that, and I typed Bortus as Worf, because I want to see that. I want to see Bortus as Worf and see what it does. But it just keeps spinning its gears for hours and it doesn't do anything. So I'm going to keep trying. I guess the website is very busy, but I'm going to keep trying to do it, because I want to start making some of that weird AI art, because I got lots of ideas in my head. May the Avis be with you, and with you. Thank you, Chris Garrett. Spock from the new Trek can visit his new asteroid, comet, or water and make it rain. Asteroid/comet. Oh, is that from the new episode? I haven't seen the new episode yet. I started watching it last night, but I was like, after 3 minutes, I was like, I'm bored. I don't want to get into it right now. I'll come back when I feel better. Because I don't want to watch something in a bad mood, because then you will not enjoy it, no matter what. Or you won't enjoy it as much as you should. Is this season supposed to be much more serious? Oh, yeah, it's supposed to be. They've been talking about that since season 1. It's like, we want to get more serious. So in the middle of season 1, they started getting more serious with the episode Into the Fold, and they kept it going that way. Especially in season 2, they had some very, you don't get more serious than Identity Part 1 and 2, even though they had Blood of Patriots was very serious last season. But the stories are so heavy, like the ideas going on in the episodes this season are so heavy that they're letting the comedy just kind of be more organic, which a lot of people are appreciating. Because a lot of people are, because I remember the first 2 seasons, people says, "Oh, it's trying to be too funny. I don't like that. I wish it was more serious." And now it's more serious, and people are like, "Where's the jokes?" I'm like, "Well, they're in there. The jokes are still in there, but people aren't noticing them because they're more organic, I guess." I noticed every single one of them, but you know me, I'm obsessed with the Orville. So it's like, well, what do you want? Or maybe some people are just like, I don't care what they do. I'm gonna wish it was the opposite. And when I get the opposite, I'm gonna go back to my original opinion. You never know. We as humans are very complicated creatures, but we sexy. Don't forget that. We are sexy creatures, us humans. We try harder. But yeah, there's a lot more funny stuff coming up this season, but it just has not been the focus, which a lot of us appreciate, because I want this show to be revered as hardcore sci-fi without making you feel like you want to cut your own wrists, which some sci-fi does. Yeah, I got the Art of Avis right back there. You can't really see. Here, let me change my camera. The Art of Avis. See if you guys can get a look at it. Whoa. Where you guys go? Hey, where you going? You guys. Well, there you go. Okay, so right back there is that page from the Krill episode 6 in season 1, when Ed and Gordon are going through the Ancana, going through the pages of the Ancana. Gotta scan it. Go through the page of that Ancana. Scan it. It's a long process. They came across that Avis page. That is the page. Production gave it to me. They had a couple that were screen used. They gave it to me, and I framed that SOB. Yay! Yay! Come back to the Ego Shuttle Bay. Yay! But yeah, there'll be more comedy, Roadrunner. Don't you worry. Whenever we get that Bortus and Clyden episode coming up, there's going to be some shenanigans going. E2 Bortus? E2 Bortus. Yes, E2. The Orville will negotiate with the heretic Hertz sect for the Krill. Okay, Martin, speaking of Avis, I don't know why. I have no idea, but all of a sudden the last few weeks, I've been getting Avis emails. Spam emails, but from the car rental company, Avis. They keep sending me promotions. I have no idea why. I haven't rented a car in 6 or 7 years. All of a sudden, I'm getting Avis emails, and it weirds me out every single time. I'm like, Avis? I'm like, oh, the car company. Okay. But for a split second, every single time. I love you too, Roadrunner. Thank you so much. This is a place of love and positivity and celebration of the 25th century Orville style, or should I say New Horizons style, because I think as time goes on, as the universe grows, this universe, the Orville universe, I should do a video on this, has potential to be that next 50, 60-year sci-fi franchise. And of course, it can't all be the Orville, unless they decide to have the same ship through 6 different series throughout the next half a decade. New Horizons, I think it'll all be the Orville, New Horizons. The Redenbacher, New Horizons. Mocklin Mayhem, New Horizons. I think New Horizons, I don't know for sure, but in my opinion, I feel New Horizons is that thing, is that subtitle that's going to get us more of that 25th century Union universe decade after decade after decade. And hopefully lots of action figures and toys. We got some really awesome ships. We have really awesome Orville merchandise now. You go to the Hulu store, they got a whole Orville merchandise section. It's great, lots of cool stuff. But we want toys. Damn it, we're adults. We deserve toys. So I want to get some really good. I'd love some Todd McFarlane Orville action figures. I mean, that's the tippity top. But I will accept some Funko Pops if Funko wants to get in on this. Funko Pop, you're missing out. You make some moolah. Charge an extra $1 for everyone if you want. We'll pay it. Just $1 though. Don't try to rip us off. There's inflation going on, Funko Pop. But yeah, I think we can get many seasons of not just the Orville, a few more seasons, but the entire franchise. I think we can get more and more and more and more seasons as we grow older. But hopefully we don't grow so old that we die, because some of us want to be immortal, okay? Come on, science, catch up with our wants and needs. Yeah, a DS9 parody as well, DS9 homage, as I would call it, Deep Space Gordon. I'd be down for a Deep Space Gordon New Horizons season. Morville Jeff B, what's going on? Have any of you noticed that a lot of planet names and character names are used in STNG? There is a episode of TNG with the planet Seleia, and Topa is a Klingon curse word. Now, Topa, I knew, was a Klingon curse word. It means like an idiot. Oh, stupid Topa. That I knew. I knew that. It's the first time I heard that name. Seleia, I need to find an episode that has that. That would be a good... I'll take a little extra of that. Take a little extra of the Topa thing. Make a little video. Compare and contrast Orville Star Trek video. You know I like to do that stuff. Oh, yeah, Dax Jacobson. If someone is in a video, talks about something, YouTube sends me videos with that topic. Me too. But also, yeah, I got me too'd. No, but also, if I just talk about something in front of my phone that's just sitting on a table somewhere, I'll start getting ads about that thing. Because I think our phones are listening to us, and anytime we say anything that sounds like a product, they'll start sending us that product. We've all been cookied, you guys. We got cookied in our phones. You gotta get those cookies out. Oh, I forgot all about those Apple Crow. Season 1 of the Orville had trading cards by Rittenhouse. I know Rittenhouse was working on Season 2 trading cards, but I have not seen them. They definitely should have been out by now. Season 2 was many years ago. They should have been out by now. I don't know what's up with that. They were working on them. I know they were working on them. They said they were working on them. And they even gave updates on some of the stuff they were doing, taking pictures and whatnot and getting signatures. But it should have been out by now, right? Jeff B, thank you so much for that $5 super chat. Jaloja JP and all. Jaloja long and prosper, Jeff B, is what I will say. Apple Crow says, I don't see a listing for them. Yeah, I totally would have noticed a listing for them by now. That is really weird. Thanks for reminding me about that. I love those Season 1 cards. They were so much fun. I got me too'd. You're slaying it. Oh! That's got to be an Orville meme. Thank you, Chris Garrett. That's a good one. Tala is slaying it this year. That should get a thumbs up for anybody who wants to try to get a thumbs up. Hashtag the Orville. Say Jessica Zora is slaying it this season. Boom. You get you a thumbs up by Jessica Zora in the very least, I'm sure. Every Friday evening, my friend and I get together for an episode of Orville and Strange New Worlds. They come out the same day. There's probably only a couple more episodes of Strange New Worlds, right? I really need to get caught up with the latest episode. I'm all caught up with Strange New Worlds except for yesterday's episode. I'm going to fake my death to escape the ads. Oh, wait, I just got an ad for discount caskets. Boom. That's how it works, pretty much. We're all being watched by our phones. I know some people are worried about microchips being injected into them or whatever. No need. Your phone is the tracking device. It's even better than something that was injected in you. It does so much more for those that want to know what's going on with you than any microchip can do. Oh, yeah, the brown guy, Yaphet is throughout the entire third season. Norm Macdonald finished all of his work for the Orville for season 3, so Yaphet will be part of the entire season. Now, we didn't get Yaphet in Shadow Realms. I wanted to see Yaphet. We didn't get to see Yaphet go up against one of those arachnids. What would that be all about? That sounds like an interesting combo right there. And then, of course, this season wasn't about anything except for the bridge crew for the most part, and two dudes that escorted Isaac and Claire down to the planet for a minute or two. Orville Nation, $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Great job on all your coverage of Orville stuff, JP. Thank you so much. That is my main directive. My prime directive all summer long is Orville stuff, Orville stuff, Orville stuff, every day, 5 days a week. Got to work on stuff on the weekends. Can't do it. 5 days a week. We waited so long. We deserve tons of new Orville content, and that is what I am trying to do. The next thing I'm going to be working on is follow that shuttle, because there's some shuttle shenanigans going on in the episode Mortality Paradox. We had a third shuttle. We're going to follow that shuttle. Which one is real? Well, it is real, but there's the two Orville shuttles, and there's a multiphasic universe shuttle. There's also, and no one's mentioned this, but I'd thought about it. There is a multiphasic Orville as well. There's not only 3 shuttles in this episode. There's 2 Orvilles, and so we gotta follow all this stuff. Dive deep into it. People gotta follow which shuttle is real, which isn't real. I'm gonna do all of that in the upcoming companion episode for Mortality Paradox. Lone Puppy, $5 super chat, New Zealand. I'm surprised Isaac did nothing when that arachnoid confronted him. That is a good question. Besides being just a great tense scene, what was going on in Isaac's head when that arachnid came up? Was Isaac saying, oh, if I just play thing, if I'm just a thing instead of a person or a place, it will just perceive me as a thing and keep going. No danger, not really a person. I can't impregnate this robot. I can't have this Isaac shooting out spider toaster babies. That just ain't gonna work out. Was that going on through his head? Or was Isaac under the impression, or now has a new creed, that he doesn't want to hurt anybody ever because he's trying to prove himself as not being dangerous in any way, shape, or form to the humans? So maybe he's like, I don't want to cause harm to any living creature. It could be either one of those things. Because, he totally could have kicked that thing's ass. He's almost as strong as Tala. He could have fought that thing, and that thing can't really hurt him or turn him or anything like that. So I'm guessing that Isaac just doesn't want to hurt anything, any creatures. He's really trying to prove himself as being safe, as turning over a new leaf. So I'm thinking that's what it is. But even if it's just a play it cool so it keeps moving along, I'm fine with that as well. But the other one is way more interesting to me, so I hope they go with that. But both are fine. Medallion Fake Tala gave us a spare shuttle in their docking bay. Yeah, for a limited time. We did get a spare shuttle. And then the crew, Ed, Kelly, Bortis, and Gordon, and multiphasic Tala, took that same multiphasic shuttle down to the planet. And then Claire and Isaac took the real Orville shuttle down to the planet when they went down there. And then when the main OA mission crew took that multiphasic shuttle back, they took it back to the multiphasic Orville, the not real Orville. And then it turns out that was just a multiphasic illusion because the shuttle was actually still there in the same place. We're going to follow that whole trail in the upcoming companion episode. Orville Nation, does Isaac need to be attacked first to respond, maybe? I don't know. I think his programming can be whatever he wants. I think he can make his own choices. I don't think he has a pre-programmed thing about that, because he ripped that Kalon Prime's head right off. He wasn't attacked. He ripped it right off. I think he could decide either way. It's his choice. So what was the motivation for his choice? That we don't know as of yet. Either way is cool, but I prefer the don't want to hurt nobody option, just because that would cause more storyline stuff to happen later on in the season. Whereas the just playing dead thing, that was just relevant to that one episode. It was like a face-off. It made me feel like there will be something more. As far as audience-wise, it was probably mostly done that way just to cause us tension. I mean, that was what that episode was trying to do, cause tension to the audience, and that was very tense. That was a Ripley and Alien moment where they're face to face. I'm surprised the arachnid didn't open his mouth and another little arachnid come out. I think Isaac didn't detect it as a threat. That's a possibility. I think he would detect it as a threat, but he was doing some sort of plan to get out of the situation, but it was never spoken of. I hope it does get spoken of, or another moment maybe will come up where he has the option to get into a fight and doesn't. What if that happens? What if there's a fight, someone's trying to kick his butt, some alien or whatever, and he doesn't fight back? And then they're like, why aren't you fighting back? Or maybe it happens a few times and people are starting to question, what's going on? And then he's like, I don't want to harm any living creature, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, shut up. We're in trouble. Kick that thing's butt. You have to know who to fight and who not to fight, dude. And he's like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting, Captain. I will consider that. Boop, 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 boop. I considered it. Okay, I'll kick this thing's butt. And he does. Maybe it's the Choctaw. We still got to come up against those Choctaws, don't we? Did the second shuttle mission happen? The second shuttle mission happened. Yeah, I believe that was from the real Orville, the non-phasic Orville. Because they got to the planet and it was how it was supposed to be. But even their perception of the planet on the real Orville was being played with. Because the planet changed 3 or 4 times. When we first got to the planet, you could see not only all the life on it, but you could see the lights from cities. They land, it's just a forest. There's no cities. And then, and we see that from space as well. And then from space, we also see the barren, deserted, the barren planet version of it as well. So you'll actually see 3 or 4 different versions of that planet from space. I should do a little picture series of that. I'll take a picture of every version of it and put that up online. I did that today. I took a screenshot of every moment in the episode where the character's eyes glazed over, and then I stacked them on top of each other as a little promotion for the episode. That looked pretty cool. People seem to like that type of stuff. I like that type of stuff. Comparisons and whatnot. How the hell does 3 shuttles fit in the shuttle bay with the pterodon? Well, 3 shuttles were never in the shuttle bay at the same time. There was always one of them on the planet. And then I assume that shuttle, I know which shuttle it is, but I won't say. That shuttle at some point just disappeared. Do you think there will be any relationship between crew members this season? Now that Ed plus Kelly and Claire plus Isaac are no longer throwing off smoochy sparks? Well, I think Claire and Isaac are going to get back together some way, some form, or about to get back together. I feel like Ed and Kelly are going to get remarried this season. I have no proof of this. Nobody has said anything. I'm just going off ideas in my head from different titles. Next week will be the episode with the Western episode, where it looks like the bridge crew are having some sort of celebration, some sort of fun on the environmental simulator in the Western simulation. Why are they all there together in a simulation? All of them. Are they celebrating something? Is it like when Troy and Riker got married on that pirate ship? Well, not really a pirate ship, but that ship in the holodeck. Is Ed and Kelly getting married in the holodeck and they're having a reception in the Western environmental simulator? We shall have to see. Dax saw my collection of the glazed over eyes. Yeah, it was creepy. I made it. I'm like, ooh, that looks weird. Looks cool, but looks creepy. The Roadrunner says, "Oh, and that last episode was so awesome. Yeah, I've seen it 9 or 10 times. I never got bored one single time because I'm just thinking about everything that's going on. So many locations in an episode. Not only the forest, but then from the forest we go to the high school. Not a real high school, by the way. That was the set that we saw from the inside. That was actually just a set. It wasn't the inside of a real high school, in case you were wondering. From the high school to the football field, from the football field to the airplane, from the airplane to the Mocklin morgue, from the Mocklin morgue to the lake, the outdoor lake, and then from the outdoor lake, which all lakes are outdoors, but from the lake, then we go back to, we go to a cave, and from the cave, we go back to, for the first time for them, the desert planet, the barren planet. From the barren planet, they go back to the ship. From back to the ship, they go back to the planet. And then from the planet, they go back to the ship. We're on the bridge. We were in the meeting room. We were in the mess hall. So many locations in that episode, you guys. I asked online today what your favorite scene of the episode was, and somebody said something awesome that I agree with. They said their favorite scene was the very end, when they were just having a recap of the events that happened in the mess hall, and they had that just nice conversation about immortality and living forever. That was also my favorite scene, because you're really getting some philosophical conversation going on, and that really attracts my Orville brain for sure. But there were so many locations in the episode, so many things that happened. And my only regret for the episode is we didn't get to see what was behind that door on the shore of the lake. That door appears, which was a really cool shot, but we didn't get to go in there. I wanted to see what was planned. It was going to be some sort of kings and knights and medieval thing going on the other side of that door. I would love to see what was planned. I wonder if any ideas were written down of what could have been behind there. Of course, there's not enough time in an episode to go to every place that we could possibly go to, but I would have liked to have known. Will everyone's favorite character, Cassius, make a return? Archmage Frey asks. Ooh, Cassius left in well, I don't even know I don't remember if we even saw him, but he was still around in the Deflectors episode. Isn't that the episode? Yeah, that's the episode where he sent the Bruce Willis flower people, Floridians, to try to win Kelly back. What was that? Episode 5? 6? Can't remember exactly the episode number on that one right now. But yeah, I'd love to see Cassius. Now, for those of you who do not know, in the alternate Kelly timeline, Cassius got killed. They were doing after the Kalon stuff in the alternate timeline, before Kelly made it back to Ed. Cassius was with them. They did a supply run or something, and the Kalon arrived and killed Cassius. Killed stupid Cassius dead on the ground. And that's what he gets for messing with my Kelly. When Tala returned, she gave a report of Kalon activity as the reason she returned. Well, it wasn't even the reason. It was just she noticed it. She picked up a trail, a very faint Kalon trail in whatever system she was in. That was all a setup. That was Dalal's plan from the beginning, to set them up, to get them thinking about the Kalon, afraid of the Kalon. When they came across the multiphasic holographic projector, they were led to believe that it was a Kalon device, and then the Kalon showed up. It was just all a deflection, just like the chocolates that she brought back from home were just there to deflect our attention, so that we would never suspect of Tala of being the one that was causing all of the mischief down on that planet. Just like when she lied, she came out of that cave, or not out of the cave, she came out of the lake with Kelly. She lied about her eyes glazing over. We saw Kelly's eyes glaze over. We never saw Tala's eyes glaze over, because that was Dalal lying her butt off, so that to keep everyone off of her trail. Well, if you rewatch the episode, it's fun to watch Tala the entire time because you know it's not really her. So if you rewatch it thinking she knows that she's not Tala, she knows what she is, who she really is. Watch her experience everything going on in the scenes with the rest of the crew. You get a whole other idea. You get a whole other aspect of it. Kind of fun. Yeah, you got to rewatch it, Zanny Zoo, because there's a lot that happens in that episode that you have to catch. Don't want a Red Dwarf reboot. I'm bored of reboots, and Red Dwarf doesn't need it. No, they just keep making them Red Dwarfs. They did a American Red Dwarf decades ago, and it failed. I don't even think the pilot was ever shown. I've watched it. It's fun, but it's not Red Dwarf, but it's fun. You can find it online for free on YouTube. Just type in like Red Dwarf US pilot or something like that, and you can watch the whole episode. Very interesting. All right, Roadrunner, you keep on running that road. Thanks for stopping by. Fake Tala stops by to speak to Kelly. Yeah. I would love to speak to the real Kelly about her planet and her home. I would love for Tala to go to Saleya. I want to know more about Tala's family. We've spoke about them. I want to meet them. Who are they? Who's that woman? You know, there's that blue alien. I think they're going to show up in next week's episode, Gently Falling Rain. They're from the season 3 trailers. That blue alien played by Bruce. Oh, what's his name from Babylon 5? Boxleitner. Bruce Boxleitner is that blue alien. There's that woman with them. She's obviously Saleyan. Is she maybe a member of Tala's family? His aunt, mother, something like that? Or is she even Saleyan? We know there are a people. I can't remember what they're called. From the comic book Heroes, the Orville comic book, Tala has an adventure with some people that they are ancestors of Salayans, but they didn't evolve on Saleya for the most part. They're cousins. You know how like the Romulans and Vulcans are kind of like cousins type of thing. They look Salayan, but they don't have any superpowers because they didn't evolve on a planet with heavy gravity. Is she one of them? So does she not have any super strength? Or is she a full-on Salayan? I don't know if they'll have enough. I don't know if they think if it's a good idea to try to weave that backstory into an episode. I don't know if there's enough time because they got so much stuff going on. Let's see. I just saw something I wanted to read. Dax Jacobson, Tron Lady was up to no good. She also had a big ass. She had a big old ass. She also had very little ears, I do have to say. The Tron Lady was up to no good. I don't think it was evil mischief she was up to. It was just godlike. Don't have the same point of view as humanoids might have type of mischief where, you know, we were basically the guinea pigs. And we're like, hey, you made us guinea pigs. And she's like, what you gonna do? Dims the brakes. They don't care so much. But they were nice about it. So I don't think they're bad people. They're just kind of don't care so much type of people. Because they're beyond it. They're beyond caring about our little problems. They're like, oh, you got a boo-boo? Oh, well. You were scared? Kind of the point. Oh, well. It was for the greater good. Greater good. Greater good. Chris Race, $2 super chat. Hold on, Chris. I got to take a drink of water. Chris also wonders what was behind that door. I'm thinking some cool medieval stuff, but also pay Randall. Yes, I agree. Pay Randall. Randall's actually my middle name. You got to pay me. Pay Randall. His middle name was named after my dad. But yes, what was behind that damn door, Chris Ray? I want to know. That's a whole. I hope we get a comic book of what was behind that door. Gene Averill, dang phone call. Well, actually, I'm looking. It's been an hour and a half. I probably got to wrap this up because I got a whole family to go hang out with, so that they know I'm alive. Was it Clyden in the tomb? No, that was Bortus. Box top dollar. That was Bortus on Bortus action. That was dead multiphasic Bortus versus regular Bortus. Which would be scary. You wouldn't want to be choked out by your own corpse. That'd make my eyes glaze over for sure. My big mouth. Plot twist. Oh, Tala's parents are Dr. Phlox, John Billingsley, and his wife from episode Home. Ooh, I can't remember. I remember her face. I don't remember the name of the woman that played the wife of John Billingsley's character in that episode. Oh, that was a great episode. He's dead now, though, I think. Didn't he get his butt killed by Alara? Alara killed Tala's dad? What? All right, you guys, I have to get going. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We're going to do lots of fun stuff every day, all summer long, until well into August. At some point, I'll have to take a break, but we have our finale episode of the Orville, I think, is August 4th. So that weekend, I'll be putting out my companion episode of that episode, Future Unknown. And then I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff that I can make after the fact, but I'll probably wait a week or two to take some time off because I'm doing this all day, every day for the most part. And but thank you. I'll also be having the next IMDb credit pool starting up. I have to make it. It won't be producer credits. Well, some of them will be producer credits for a certain bracket, but it'll be a special IMDb credit for episodes 4 through 7, I believe it is. I worked out the math, and I'll see you guys very soon. I'll have lots of updates very soon. And as always, I hope all your times are Orville-tastic fun times. And remember, we all do better when we all do better. Love you. Bye-bye.